Inner peace, finally. I say finally because it took 2.5 years from idea conception to release. And it was the one project that took me on a real roller coaster ride from being the most hopeful, inspiring, and exciting project to the most frustrating and discouraging. But I can say with confidence that it truly does reflect my sound as a R&B and really a neo soul songwriter. So I can't wait for you guys to experience inner peace. Some things and some situations that are worth waiting for, and I think inner peace is just that. I remember it was on an evening around Christmas time in 2018. I was listening to a lot of Robert Glasper at that time. He was in my repertoire way before then, but I was actually listening to all of his tracks, and I just felt so in awe and just admiring his work and just being inspired. Like I want to write, I want to create a Robert Glasper vibe. And I think that's probably, in addition to me being a perfectionist and a lot of other factors too, why it took so long is because I wanted so very much to emulate the sounds of legendary artists musically, but I also was fearing that I would come off as somebody who I am not. So just kind of that internal battle, but yeah, it was evening in 2018 around Christmas time. I studied myself and everything was quiet, and then I came up with on the piano, and I knew I had something. And what I also learned too is, a lot of the biggest musical impact to the ear is made by the smallest movements on the piano. I'm still learning that. But and then the saga of creative blocks, one after the other, just started to snowball. And the first one was I had no idea how I was going to progress the rest of that progression. And I remember just being so frustrated that I just put it aside, completely put it aside, and I worked on other things. That was probably a few months, and but then I had a steady gig before COVID at the Edmonton International Airport twice a week that I looked forward to very much. I loved it. It was passive practicing, and it was the perfect environment because I didn't have that pressure to perform. But I do remember bringing that out, the moments when I needed to rest my voice and I could just play like I used to, just on the piano. And I brought it out, and that was how I found how I completed the piano part. I was also in the studio with Jay Black of Vested Music Production. We were actually working on another project at that time, and I decided to show him what I was working on this one. And if you ever need anybody in your corner behind you who truly believes in you, who you need a pep talk from, if you ever doubt yourself or don't believe in yourself, Jay is that guy, because he just looked at me and all floored with what I came up with and said, your growth as a musician is shown from this progression. And I said, whoa, okay. Then he started to do his J Black touches on there and sent me home with it to do my homework. But then that was then the second creative block. I had no idea what the song was about. You know, as an artist, I'm very heavy in storytelling, concept-based, message-based, and I didn't know what the song was about. I go based solely by how I feel, how a song makes me feel, and I didn't really know what it was, how I was feeling about it. And so yeah, I guess it was in a few more months and put on the back burner. And then for some reason I finally wanted to capture a story that didn't only pertain to me, but to all artists alike, musicians, visual artists, performing arts, other industries as well. So I knew I wanted to talk about the journey of going after your true dreams. And so then the third block came, was the melody. I knew very much that I needed to create something, a melody line that was different, that's different than what I had from all of my other projects, because this is a neo soul. It's a mix of neo soul, R&B, jazz, and you know, if I didn't feel it, I was scrapping this idea, that idea, and so that whole process just snowballed. But again, Jay came to the rescue because he helped me. He said, you know what, you already have your chorus. And it was that, the motif of the piano, that was my chorus. And I said, I didn't think about that as my chorus, and that again changed perspectives for me, and sped up the process. And then the lyrics are always the death of me whenever I write my songs. But it's very, very peculiar with my writing process, is I will get these spells of you know, dry spells for creativeness, and then all of a sudden within probably in a span of half an hour, I remember coming home from work. I was closing that night at the pharmacy, and I came home and the words just kept coming out, which was a miracle. And then it was time to hit Jay up and to get back into the studio. It didn't feel entirely right to me for some reason, because I didn't hear exactly how I envisioned it to sound like. But I was still going on and did the main vocals, and it took half amount of time that I usually do take. It was a roller coaster still, because I remember not feeling good about it. It wasn't what I wanted to hear, what I envisioned initially of how I wanted it to sound, and I wasn't really feeling it all the time. And then we had a couple more sessions to do the harmonies, and I procrastinated again, and I didn't really listen to it until literally an hour or two before I was due to go into the session with Jay. And it was a completely different vibe, a completely different mood, a completely different feeling going in and exiting, because I remember exiting that session with Jay and we were both so elated, because we found together the harmonies that I so very much dreamed of creating, and with the piano, with the vocals, with everything, with the beats, with the ambiance that Jay was able to bring in. And then we knew it was that was it. It's my diary of my own journey in the music scene. And, you know, a lot of people feel like when what we do is about the materialistic things, but for me it's not. It's not about my claim to fame. It's not about making a name for myself or the money. And hopefully this song will create that clarity. And it goes into the chorus where it's saying that this road, especially at the very beginning, especially when you come from a community that's not really behind you, from family and friends, who's not really there at the very beginning to support you. You know, and if we go forward into the second verse, is whenever we want to do something that we are truly passionate about, we just wish and want the world to be behind us, to support us with all the love and the faith. But reality is, it's not going to be like that. And I learned very quickly, especially if you come from an environment and a family that doesn't really support that 100%, when you embark on this journey like this, it's going to be very lonely, probably a good 80% of the way, especially at the beginning. And you're going to feel you are alone in this fight against the world, with yourself, by yourself, and you have to learn very quickly how to find strength in your own solitude, how to push through with perseverance, resilience, and to find that courage and that strength to keep going forward, especially during those times when you go through those cycles where you just want to quit. You ask that most basic human question of why? Why am I doing this, right? And if you don't advocate for yourself, there's no one else who will advocate for you. And along the way, you will start to find the people who truly believe in you, like with Jay, in this case. You would accomplish one of the most amazing things in life, in addition to happiness, your faith, your love, and that is your own inner peace. And especially during the world that we are in today, finding that inner peace amongst that turmoil is absolutely amazing. So that's what it's all about. My diary, my own journey in finding my own inner peace, and taking a leap into a different city, a different scene, expanding. It's just that. And I'm super excited to honor and remember my past and bring that forward into everything else that I'm gonna build forward for myself. Super excited, and just can't wait for you guys to continue to find your own inner peace in your own journeys, because it's going to be worth it.